Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm your host, Jenny, and today, for our first episode, we're diving into a fascinating topic, a human ecology. Now, you might be wondering what exactly is human ecology. And bago ko ipakilala ang mga guest na magbibigay sa atin ng kaalaman at awareness about human ecology, ano nga ba ang human ecology? Continue watching for you to answer and get important information on it. So now you might be wondering who is our guest. So I will now introduce them first. She is environmental consultant, Ma'am Shankay Gahes. And also, our next guest she is an environmental protection specialist and her name is Joy Ann Domingo. Ayan, so magandang umaga po sa inyo, ma'am.
Magandang umaga rin po sa inyo, ma'am.
Magandang umaga rin po sa inyo, ma'am.
Ayan. So may mga katanungan po tayo dito na kung saan kailangan po nating masagot or bigyan po kami ng information pang sa gayon is mas malinawan ang ating mga nakikinig at mga nanonood. Ayan. So how do you feel today, mga ma'am?
Syempre po, ma'am, excited po kami na makapag-guest po sa inyong podcast at upang makapagbahagi po ng mga advices at important information about human ecology.
Okay lang din po, ma'am. Excited rin po na makapagbahagi ng important details about human ecology.
Yan. So, napaka ganda namang pong pakinggan yung mga sinabi niyo po. So, ngayon, tayo na pong dadako sa mga katanungan na gusto naming masagutan po ninyo upang sa ganun is magkaroon po kami ng mga information and knowledge. Di ba?
Opo.
Yan. So, sa una pong katanungan natin is, can you explain po what human ecology is and why it's an important field of study? Mauna po kayo, Ma'am Shankay.
Opo. So, this field is important because it helps us understand the profound ways human actions such as deforestation, urbanization, and industrial activities. So, ito po is it affects the natural world and how these environmental changes in turn affect human health, social systems, and future sustainability. So, sa pamamagitan po ng pag-aaral ng human ecology is makakabuo tayo ng mga estratehiya upang mas mahusay na mapangasiwa ang mga likas na yaman laban ang pagkasira ng kapaligiran po natin at makapagtatagpo ng mas napapanatili at pantay-pantay na mga lipunan.
Yan. So, talagang napaka-importante naman talagang malaman natin, no? Yung mga awareness para po or patungkol dito sa ating human ecology.
Opo.
Sa'yo, Ma'am Joy Ann, ano po bang may dadagdag nyo or maaari po bang explain nyo rin po kung ano yung human ecology at bakit it is important to field of study po?
Human ecology is the study of human interaction with their environment, enduring nature, social, and built environment. Mahalaga ito dahil nakakatulong itong maunawaan kung paano makakaapekto ang ating mga gawain sa kalikasan at kung paano natin ito mas mapapangalagaan.
Ayan, so maraming salamat po mga ma'am. So, tunay nga na kailangan maging aware po tayo, no? Upang mas maprotektahan natin yung kalikasan po natin para maging aware din po tayo kung ano ba yung mga nakakasira sa ating kalikasan. Tama po ba?
Yes po.
Ayan. So, ma'am, ang next question po natin, so how has the concept of human ecology evolved over time? Sa inyo po, Ma'am Joy Ann, ano po bang masasabi niyo about dito?
Nag-involve ang human ecology mula sa pag-aaral ng natural na kapaligiran patungo sa pag-unawa sa mga ugnayang panlipunan at urban na mga kapaligiran na iniisaalang-alang ang mga epekto ng mga tao sa kalikasan.
Okay po. So, how about you po, Ma'am Shankay?
So, in recent decades po, the field has further evolved to address pressing global issues like climate change, sustainability, and urbanization. So today, human ecology serves as a critical framework for understanding how human actions contribute to global environmental challenges and for identifying solutions that promote long-term ecological balance.
Thank you po. Okay po. So ngayon po, ano naman po kaya yung mga main principles or frameworks within human ecology?
So, may 5 pong key concepts ang human ecology na kinakabilingan po ng ecosystem theory, which is it is a human's part of ecosystems and changes in one part affect the whole system. And pangalawa ay sustainability. It emphasizes meeting current needs without compromising future generations. And the third one, adaptation. It is as societies adapt behaviors, technologies, and institutions to cope with environmental changes. And the fourth one is the cultural ecology. It is examines how cultural practices influence human environmental interactions. And the last one is the systems thinking. It is recognizes the complexity and interconnectedness of human environmental relationships.
Okay, so salamat po sa pagbabahagi, Ma'am Sunshine. So yung concepts po ba na ito or yung mga key concepts na ito ay sila po ba is magkaka-connecta po yung bawat isa patungkol sa human ecology?
Opo.
Okay po. Okay, so kay Ma'am Joy-Ann naman po, how do humans interact with their environments po according to human ecological theories?
Human ecological theories suggest that human and their environments influence each other in a continuous cycle. This means our activity like farming, urban development, and resources use change the environment, and this change in turn affect our lives and societies.
Ayan, so sa next question po natin, Ma'am Shankay, so how can human ecology inform urban planning and sustainable development?
So, sa makabagong panahon po, ang human ecology ay may mahalagang papel sa pagpaplano ng mga lungsod at napapanatiling pag-unlad. Ang mga lungsod ay may mga sentro ng aktibidad ng tao at ang paraan ng kanilang disenyo ay maaaring makaapekto sa mga resulta ng kapaligiran. So, human ecologists we advocate for sustainable urban planning that integrates green spaces, reduces carbon footprints, and manages waste effectively and ensures access to clean water and air.
Ayan, so thank you po, Ma'am Sunshine. Ang katanungan ko naman po sa iyo, Ma'am Joy-Ann, so what role does human ecology play in addressing climate change and environmental degradation?
Ang human ecology ay mahalaga sa pagharap sa climate change at pagkasira ng kapaligiran sa pamamagitan ng pagpapakilala ng mga sustainable na gawain at pulisiya na nagkakalayong bawasan ang pinsala sa kalikasan.
Ayan, so maraming salamat po, Ma'am Joy-Ann. And next po, na katanungan po na gusto po naming maklaro para po sa lahat at para po sa amin na katanungan para sa iyo, Ma'am Shankay. So what are some of the biggest challenges po that faced by researchers and practitioners in human ecology, and maaari mo po bang ibahagi sa amin kung ano ba yung mga pwedeng solutions para dito po?
Opo, ma'am. So, human ecology faces several significant challenges, including climate change, rapid urbanization, deforestation, and resource depletion. So, these issues affect ecosystems, human populations, and biodiversity. It threatening vital services like clean air and water. So, ang mga solution po na pwede po natin gawin ay kinakabilangan po ng mga pagtataguyod ng mga patakaran para sa pagpapanatili na edukasyong pangkalikasan at mga teknolohiyang nagpapababa po ng epekto ng tao sa kalikasan habang sinisiguro po natin ang pagiging pantay at makatarungan po para sa lahat.
Ayan, maraming salamat po, Ma'am Sunshine. Ayan, so Ma'am Joy-Ann, ang katanungan ito ay para sa iyo naman po. And how can individuals and communities apply human ecological principles in their daily lives naman po?
Ang mga individual at komunidad ay maaaring mag-practice ng mga sustainable na magagawain tulad ng reducing waste and recycling, conserving energy and water, supporting local sustainable food resources, advocating for environment policies.
Ayan, so maraming salamat po sa mga binahagi niyo po sa amin. And gusto ko pong itanong po muli, or last question na lang po, na gusto ko sana na malaman yung mga practical steps po na individuals can take to support human ecological principles in their communities. And any advice na rin po na pwede ninyong sabihin para sa mga tagapakinig po natin.
So, para po sa akin, individuals can support human ecological principles by reducing waste. Kanina po sinabi rin po ni Ma'am Joy-Ann. Ito, through recycling and composting, conserving energy, and by using efficient appliances and reducing car usage. And by supporting local ecosystems by planting native trees and protecting wildlife habitats. So, participation in community initiatives like clean-up events and sustainability projects can also helps. Additionally po, advocating for policies that promote renewable energy, waste management, and conservational efforts can have a broader impact. So, naway ang mga manonood po natin or tagapakinig po natin sa podcast na to ay lagi po nating gawin ang 5 hours po na pinapaalala po namin.
Oh, so ano pa yung 5 hours, ma'am?
So, yung 5 hours po na naway gawin po natin palagi ay reuse, reduce, recycle, recover, and repair.
Oh, so maraming salamat po sa advice niyo, ma'am, at talagang kailangan no na isabuhay talaga natin, ma'am, no, ng mga kahalagahan ng 5 hours na to sa ating ecology, di ba?
Yes po.
Okay po. Ayan, so how about you po, Ma'am Joy-Ann? Ano pong maaari niyo pong i-advise or mga steps para po sa pag-support po ng human ecological principles sa ating communities?
So, ang may advice ko lang po ay plant trees or start a community garden, use reusable items like bags and bottles, educate yourself and others about environmental issues, and support eco-friendly business and products.
Ayan po, so dyan na po nagtatapos yung mga katanungan na gusto naming may tanong, at maraming salamat po sa mga response ninyo, yung mga awareness na binahagi ninyo or yung mga importante na information po patungkol sa human ecology. And now po, bago nga po tayong tuluyang magpaalam sa isa't isa, ay gusto ko po sana na kung may mga gusto po kayong mensahe or huling mensahe para po sa atin at sa mga sa amin na rin po, or sa mga nakikinig or mga tagapanood po.
So, siyempre po, we're so thankful sa inyong programa, sa pag-invite po sa aming mga environmentalists upang makapagbahagi po ng awareness at advice po sa ating mga tagapanood at tagapakinig po.
And maraming salamat po, Ma'am Shankay, sa last message po ninyo na napaka-meaningful at fruitful po. Kayo naman po, Ma'am Joy-Ann, ano po bang last message po para po sa aming lahat?
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Jenny, sa pag-invite bilang isang guest sa umagang ito. I'm so grateful to be invited in this program, and syempre po, naway marami kayong natutunan at syempre po yung mga tagapakinig at tagapanood, at naway maisa puso at maisa isip natin ang kahalagahan nito at may apply natin ito sa ating buhay para sa ikakabuti ng ating society o lipunan.
Yan. So maraming salamat po mga ma'am. At syempre po, maaasahan niyo po kami. Ako rin po, na may apply ko rin po yung mga nasabi ninyo, ng mga information na ganyan, upang sa gayon, mas mapanatili po natin na maayos ang ating, or yung kaligtasan po ng ating kapaligiran. And of course, yung kahalagahan po ng human ecology sa atin. And yun po, at maraming salamat po muli. At have a great day po.
Maraming salamat po.
Okay, so hi everyone and welcome back to our podcast episode 2. And of course, we are done about human ecology, and for our second episode topic is all about human reproduction. And now you might be wondering again what it is. And well, let's now introduce to you our guest, and she is a doctor in Apex, Dr. Martes Reyes. And of course, our nurse, Miss Erica Garcia. And so good morning po, Doc Martes and Nurse Erica.
Good morning din po.
Good morning din po, ma'am.
Ayan, so kamusta naman po tayo mga ma'am?
Okay lang naman po, ma'am.
Mabuti lang po, ma'am.
Mabuti naman po kung ganun. At ano po yung nararamdaman nyo ngayon sa umagang ito? Ano po yung nafe-feel natin ngayon? Or ano pong masasabi natin sa umagang ito? Yung nararamdaman po natin? Excited po ba tayo o hindi?
For me is may halong nervyos at saya. So, sabi ko sa sarili ko na ito ay isang pagkakataon upang maipahayag ang aking mga ideya at makapagbigay na din ng awareness sa mga nakikinig sa ating programang ito.
Yan, ang ganda naman nun, Doc. And how about you po, Nurse Erica?
Parang gano'n na din po, ma'am. Masaya at medyo ninenervyos din sa mga ibibigay na tanong para sa akin po.
Ayan. Okay, ma'am. So, our topic is about human reproduction, right? So, gusto po naming malaman or background information lang po what is human reproduction is.
So, human reproduction is the biological process by which new human individuals are produced. So, it's a complex process involving a series of steps from the formation of gametes to the development of a fetus and the eventual birth of a baby.
Okay, thank you, Doc. How about you, Miss Nurse?
So, sa human reproduction, this process includes several stages, the conception, pregnancy, and childbirth. So, reproductive health and understanding of reproductive systems are crucial for family planning, sexual health, and overall well-being.
Okay, so thank you po. And for our first question po, for Doc Marites. So what are the importance of sexual health and reproductive health po?
So, the importance of sexual health and reproductive health are crucial for overall well-being and quality of life. So, they encompasses the prevention and treatment of sexually transmitted infection or yung tinatawag na STI. So, access to contraception and the ability to make informed choices about reproduction. So, good sexual health contribute to physical and emotional well-being, enhance relationship, and empower individual to take control to their reproductive choices. So, karagdagan, ang comprehensive sexual and reproductive health education nakakatulong para mag-reduce ng stigma, promotes healthy behavior, and support informed decision-making. So, yun lang po.
Ayan, so thank you po, Doc. And of course, Nurse Erica. So yung question po is, what is fertilization naman po?
So, fertilization is the process where a sperm cell unites with an egg cell to form a zygote. So, ang proseso kung saan ang sperm cell ng isang lalaki ay nagsasama sa egg cell ng isang babae. Sa prosesong ito, nabubuo ang fertilized egg o zygote na nagiging simula ng pagbubuntis.
Ayan. So, thank you po, Nurse Erica. Okay, so for the second question po, for Nurse Erica Garcia po. So, where does fertilization typically occur?
Fertilization usually takes place in the fallopian tubes. So, karaniwang nagaganap sa fallopian tubes ng babae matapos ang pagkikipagtalik. Ang sperm cells ay pumapasok sa reproductive tract ng babae at lumilipat patungo sa fallopian tubes kung saan nagkakaroon ng pagsasama ang sperm at egg cell.
Okay, so thank you po, Nurse Erica. So, what is the role of the placenta naman po?
The placenta provides nutrients and oxygen to the developing fetus and removes waste products. So, ang organ na ito nabubuo sa panahon ng pagbubuntis. Ang pangunahing tungkulin nito ay magbigay ng sustansya at oxygen sa developing fetus habang inaalis ang mga waste products. Kumukonekta ito sa fetus sa pamamagitan ng umbilical cord at tumutulong sa pagpapasa ng mga nutrients mula sa dugo ng ina papunta sa fetus.
Oh, so ganun pala yun, no? Yung role ng placenta. So, Nurse Erica, what about yung gestation po? What is it all about?
So, gestation is the period of development of the fetus inside the uterus, typically lasting about 9 months in humans. So, ang gestation ay ang panahon ng pagbubuntis mula sa fertilization hanggang sa panganganak. Sa panahong ito, ang fertilized egg ay nagiging embryo at sa kalaunan ay fetus o lumalaki at nagde-develop sa sinapupunan ng isang ina. Ang haba ng gestation ay nag-iiba depende sa uri depende sa uri.
Oh, so nakadepende pala siya sa uri, ma'am, no?
Yes po, ma'am.
Oh, ganun pala yun. And, thank you po, Nurse. And how about po yung what hormones regulate the menstrual cycle po naman? About sa menstrual cycle naman po tayo.
So, ang hormone na nag-uugnay sa menstrual cycle ay ang mga estrogen, progesterone, follicle stimulating hormones, and luteinizing hormones. So, ang estrogen, ito ay nagpapasigla sa pag-unlad ng mga follicle sa ovaries at tumutulong sa pagbuo ng lining ng matrix.
Oh, so how about po yung ano po yung sinabi niyo kanina, Nurse?
Progesterone po.
Oh, yung progesterone. How about naman po doon?
So, ang progesterone naman po is ito yung nilalabas ito matapos ang ovulation at tumutulong sa paghahanda ng lining ng matrix para sa potential na pagbubuntis.
So yun po yung
progesterone po.
Progesterone. Okay, so how about naman po yung sa pangatlo po na binanggit nyo kanina?
Sa follicle stimulating hormones po, ma'am, ito naman po yung nakakatulong sa pagbuo at pag-unlad ng mga follicle sa ovaries. And then, doon naman po sa luteinizing hormones is ito yung nag-uudyok ng ovulation at nag-uugnay sa pagbuo ng corpus luteum.
Oh, so yun po pala yung regulate the menstrual cycle po, no? So thank you po, Nurse. So for the last question po para sa iyo, Nurse Erica. So what is common sign of pregnancy po?
So marami ang common sign ng pagbubuntis. Kabilang dito ang mga nawawalan, yung mga hindi dinadatnan. Ito ang isang pangunahing senyales na maaring buntis ang isang babae. Pwede din ito yung pagkahilok. Dahil karaniwang ito ay lalo na sa mga umaga, ganun. Depende sa isang inang magbubuntis. And then yung pagkapagod, sakit o pagkabigat sa dibdib, madaling pag-ihi at pagbabago sa panlasa. Yun lang po, ma'am.
Nurse Erica, so, di ba kasi katanungan po ng iba na, yun po ba sa sinabi nyo kanina na mga common sign of pregnancy is, ano pa yung unang binanggit nyo is?
Kawalan ng regla or hindi
Ayan,
dinadatnan.
so noon. Meron po ba kapag sa isang babae po, yung sign na yung nagsusuka?
Yes po, meron din po din yun, ma'am.
Oh.
Isa rin po yung sign na buntis po yung isang babae po, ma'am.
Oh, so paano po siya, ano ma'am, kumbaga, ilang months bago po naranasan tong mga to? Ano pong sa tingin niyo po? Or ano po bang, ilang months bago
Mga nasa
yung
2
ganitong-
months po, ma'am.
Oh, 2 months po.
Yes po, ma'am.
Pero merong iba na hindi sila same ng
Yes po, ma'am. Meron po yung first month, depende po sa, or second month.
so it
po,
depends po
Yes
sa
po, ma'am.
sa nagdadala no. Ayan. So maraming salamat po Nurse Erica sa iyong pagbabahagi po ng mga information about po sa fertilization and okay, so mamaya po tatanungin po natin yung mga advice kung ano po ba yung gusto nating i-advise para sa mga kababaihan, diba? Especially po sa mga kababaihan. Ayan, so let's proceed naman po kay Dr. Marites Reyes, ang napakagandang doktora po sa Apex. Ayan, so napakalaking hospital po pala yung pinagtatrabahan niyo po, doktora, no?
Yes po.
Okay, so question po, doktora, is how does climate change impact human reproduction naman po?
So, good question. So, climate change induces displacement and migration can disrupt reproductive health services and increase the risk of sexual violence and exploitation. So, which can have devastating consequence for reproductive health. So, ang pabagong-bagong panahon ay possess significant threats to human reproduction. So, addressing the root causes of climate change is crucial to protecting protecting reproductive health and ensuring a sustainable future for all.
Yeah, what a meaningful and fruitful po ng mga sinabi ninyong
Yes.
doktora. And of course, what are the challenges faced po naman about sa mga LGBTQ plus po natin, no ba? In terms of sexual health naman and reproduction.
So, the challenges faced by LGBTQ+, so individual in terms of sexual health and reproduction. So, LGBT individual face several challenges. So, maraming challenges ang kinakaharap ng LGBTQ+ ngayon. So, related to sexual and health reproduction. So, una na rito ay ang many healthcare providers may lack training or awareness of LGBTQ+, so specific health needs leading to inadequate care. So this can result in miscommunication, discomfort, or abundance of medical services altogether. Furthermore, LGBTQ individuals may encounter discriminatory. So ang LGBTQ plus is nakakaranas din sila ng discrimination. So, discourage them from seeing essential sexual health services such as STI or yung sexually transmitted infection, testing of or preventive care.
Ayan.
So, pangalawa, meron pa pong pangalawa.
Oo,
ang
may pangalawa.
kinakaharap.
Okay.
So, secondly, a reproductive option for LGBTQ plus individuals, especially for those wanting to start families. So, yung can be limited. So, meron dito yung same-sex couple may face barriers to accessing fertility treatment, surrogacy, or adoption services due to legal and financial obstacles. So, yun lang po ang mga kinakaharap ng LGBTQ.
Yan, so talagang marami din palang mga kinakaharap ang mga LGBTQ po, diba? About po dito.
Yes.
So, Doc, how about po yung naman sa mga factors can affect naman sa fertility in both men and women?
Yes. So, the factor can affect fertility in both men and women. So, isa na rito ay ang age or taon. So, age is a significant factor. So, fertility generally declines with age. So, especially sa mga babae kapag 35 years old na sila. And after 40, sa mga lalaki din. So this is due to changes in hormone levels and the quality of eggs and sperm. So kapag 35 na ang mga babae is nagbabago ang kanilang hormone levels and the quality of eggs, ganun na rin po ang mga lalaki. Kung umabot na sila ng 40, nagbabago na rin po ang kanilang sperm.
Oh. So, yun po yung mga factors, no, na pwedeng makapag-affect sa fertility ng both men and women. No?
So, meron pa pong isa, ito yung tinatawag nilang medical condition. So, such as the polycystic ovary syndrome or yung tinatawag nilang PCOS
Okay, yes.
and sexually transmitted infection, ito yung STI, can impact fertility. So, some medication can also interfere with our reproductive function.
So, thank you po, Dr. Marites, for that information. Diba? And for the last question po para sa'yo, Doktora, is what are the common reproductive health issues naman that individuals may face?
So, a reproductive health issue can affect both men and women and can vary in severity, some of the severity. So, merong most common reproductive health problem ng mga individual. So, una na rito ang infertility. So, di ba kapag alam natin na kapag infertile yung babae is hindi na siya magkakaroon ng anak.
Opo.
So, ganun rin po ang mga lalaki kapag infertility. So, the inability to conceive and have a child. So, pangalawa, kapag yung binagin ko kanina na PCOS or yung polycystic ovary syndrome, ito yung hormonal disorder that can cause irregular period, excess hair growth, and acne. So, kapag yung mga babaeng may PCOS is nagkakaroon sila ng irregular period or for example, may dinatnan siya ng January and then sa susunod, May na. Yun yung irregular period. So, yung mga babae ding merong PCOS is nagkakaroon sila ng maraming acne, mga pimples na
acne,
tinatawag.
okay.
And then, excess hair growth. So, yun lamang po.
Ayan. So, Doktor, sa mga may PCOS po, it is possible po na may mga case din po ba na yung mga may PCOS is nakabubuntis rin po ba or iilan lang po?
Siguro iilan lang po kasi kapag may PCOS ka is pwede ka pong magpa-check up sa OB/GYN para maresetahan ka ng gamot.
Ayan. So, tama naman po no na napakahirap po talaga kapag may PCOS
Yes.
ang isang babae at napakahirap po talaga, 'di ba?
Yes.
Na magkaroon sila ng anak. And that's one of the biggest problem ng mga women and also men. Okay, thank you po, Doktora, for that wonderful shared or that wonderful information na nag-gather po namin dahil sa inyo. At ngayon naman ay ating namang balikan yung pwede nating i-advise for fertility, especially po for women, for our nurse, Erica Garcia po.
So ito lamang aking mga i-advise para sa mga kababaihan for fertility. So una is the maintain a healthy weight. Both underweight and overweight can affect hormones levels and ovulation. Aim for a balanced diet and regular exercise. And eat a balanced diet. So dito focus on whole foods including fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein, and healthy fats. Then manage stress. High stress can impact hormone levels. Consider stress reduction techniques like yoga, meditation, or deep breathing exercise. Then stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water to support overall health and optimal body function. Then limit caffeine and alcohol. Because
this is one of the most important din, di ba?
yes po ma'am, because is high consumption of caffeine and alcohol can negatively impact fertility. Then avoid drugs
Oh, drugs. Like, pwede din po ba yung tabako, ganun?
Yes po, ma'am.
Cigarettes.
Yes po, ma'am. Because smoking and recreational drugs can adversely affect fertility in both men and women. And the one is the track your cycle. In this, understanding your menstrual cycle can help identify your fertile window. Then regular checkups. So, regular checkups is the regular visits to a healthcare provider can help identify any underlying issues affecting fertility. Lastly, is the consult a specialist. If you've been trying to conceive for over a year, or 6 months, or if ever 35, consider seeking advice from fertility specialist. Yun lang po, ma'am.
Yan. So, thank you po, Nurse Erica, for that advice para po sa ating mga kapwa kababaihan po, di ba?
Yes
That's
po,
why, importante din po yung mga advice na sinabi nyo. And how about po kay, sa inyo po, Dr. Martes, meron po ba kayong pang gustong message or last message po bago po natin i-end itong conversation po natin?
So, salamat din po, Jenny, sa inyong pag-invite sa programang ito. Gusto ko lang ipaalala sa lahat na ang reproductive health ay isang mahalagang bahagi ng ating kabuuang kalusugan. So, maging bukas tayo sa pag-uusapan ito at huwag matakot na magtanong at humingi ng tulong sa mga kagaya kong doctors. At ang bawat karanasan ay natatangi at mahalaga ang suporta. At mahalaga din ang suporta ng pamilya at komunidad sa paglalakbay na ito. So, huwag kalimutan na ang kaalaman ay kapangyarihan. Kaya't patuloy na mag-aral at mag-explore sa mga aspeto ng human reproduction.
Yan. So, thank you po, Dr. Martes. Ikaw po ba, Nurse Erica, may mga gusto ka po bang pang last message or na gusto pong sabihin bago po natin i-end itong conversation po natin?
Masasabi ko lang po ay maraming salamat po, ma'am, sa pag-imbita sa araw na ito, ma'am. Yun lang po, ma'am.
So, thank you po, Dr. Marta Reyes and Nurse Erica Garcia po. And hopefully po na ang mga tagapakinig po natin, no, ay naintindihan po nila kung gaano kahalaga ang mga sinabi po ninyo, yung mga awareness, yung mga advice po ninyo, na mga shinare po ninyo ay talagang malaking tulong po para sa atin. Especially po sa mga tagapakinig na rin po natin at mga tagapakanood. And, ayan, so, sa huling pag-uusap po natin, ay may mga last message po ba kayo sa mga tagapakinig at mga tagapanood po natin?
So ako, sana ay nakatulong ang mga ibinahagi ko sa mga tagapakinig at mai-apply nila sa kanilang sarili o sa kanilang buhay.
Ayan. So, thank you po. At maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. At
Maraming salamat
sa inyong effort din po. At stay fresh, di ba? Dapat maganda pa rin tayo. Ayan. So, muli magandang umaga po. At thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi everyone! Again, welcome back to our podcast episode number 3. And for our third episode, or last episode, our topic is all about culture. And this time, ay malalaman natin what is culture is. Well, let's now introduce to you our last two guests. She is Attorney Cathy May Pambit. And of course, Ma'am Melissa Padama, a teacher of OLPC SMI. Ayan, so good morning Ma'am Melissa and Attorney Cathy.
Good morning po.
Good morning din po. Ano po yung nararamdaman natin today or nafe-feel po natin today?
I feel so excited po na
bigay po ng bagong kaalaman sa mga taga-pakinig at sa mga taga-panood na kung gaano nga ba ka-importante yung culture.
Thank you, Attorney. Yan, so how about naman po sa'yo, Ma'am Melissa? Ano po yung nafe-feel mo today?
I am grateful to be here in this program to give an advice about culture.
Yan, so thank you po. And now, may mga katanungan tayo dito or mga questions na kung saan ating kailangan masagot at may share po natin sa mga tagapakinig. Especially pa rin po sa amin, once again is magkaroon po kami ng awareness and information about sa mga cultures. And of course, the first question po is, can you, for Attorney Cathy, so can you explain what is culture is and why culture is important to all of us?
So, the culture is the shared values, beliefs, customs, and practices of a group of people. Ini-include din dito yung ating language, traditions, art, food, and social behaviors. Culture is important because it shapes our identity, helps us understand the world, and connects us with others. It also gives meaning to our lives, influences how we interact with others, and allows societies to grow and thrive.
Yan. So thank you po, Attorney Cathy, for that wonderful answer. And for the next question po is for Ma'am Melissa Padama, which is, what is the significance of reproduction in indigenous cultures naman po? Sa mga indigenous naman.
Indigenous cultures reproduction is often seen as more than just a biological process. It holds deep culture and spiritual significance. It represents the continuation of the community, passing on traditions, values, and knowledge to the future generations. Reproduction helps maintain the tribe's identity, land connections, and ancestral lineage, ensuring the survival and strength of the cultures over time.
Oh, thank you for that another wonderful answer po, Ma'am Melissa Padama. And of course, Attorney Cathy, how do some indigenous group po view childbirth?
So, in many indigenous groups, view childbirth as a sacred and spiritual event, closely connected to nature and the community. It is often seen as a powerful act of life creation with deep respect for the role of women as life givers. Rituals, prayers, and traditional practices may be used to ensure the health and well-being of both the mother and child, celebrating the continuation of life and the community's future.
Okay, so Ma'am Melissa Padama, so why do some cultures naman po perform fertility rituals po?
Some cultures perform fertility rituals to encourage the growth of crops, ensure the health of livestock, and promote successful reproduction in humans. These rituals are believed to attract blessings from spiritual forces or deities, ensuring abundance, prosperity, and the continuation of life within the community.
Okay, thank you po, Ma'am Padama. Okay, so Attorney Cathy again. So what are some common elements of fertility rituals po?
So, some common elements of fertility rituals often include offerings to gods or spirits, dances, prayers, and symbolic acts like planting seeds or pouring water to represent growth and life. These rituals may also involve sacred objects, chants, or blessings aimed at promoting fertility in people, animals, or the land.
So how does infertility affect men naman in some cultures?
In some cultures, infertility can affect men by causing feelings of shame, loss of status, or questioning or their masculinity, since fathering children is often linked to a man's identity. Social role, lineage, infertility may lead to social stigma, strained relationships, or sense of failure in fulfilling cultural or family expectations.
Yan, so thank you po, Ma'am Melissa Padama. And the next question is, why is infertility stigmatized in many cultures po?
Infertility is stigmatized in many cultures because having children is often seen as essential for family continuation, social status, and fulfilling cultural or religious expectations. When someone can't have children, it may be viewed as failing to meet these important roles, leading to social pressure, judgment, or exclusion.
Thank you, Attorney. And for the next question po, what are some common challenges naman po in preserving traditional cultures in a globalized world? Sino pong gustong sumagot po? Okay, so Ma'am Padama po.
Common challenges in preserving traditional cultures in globalized world include the loss of language, cultural practices, and traditional knowledge due to the spread of dominant global cultures. Increased modernization, media influence, and economic pressures can lead younger generations to adopt new lifestyles, leaving behind their cultural roots. Additionally, culture homogenization can weaken unique traditions and identities.
Yan, so thank you po, Ma'am Melissa Padama. And of course, what are some solutions naman po to the loss of indigenous languages and traditions? Kasi yan po yung mga isang problems po, di ba? So, we need to clarify lang po kung ano pa po yung mga solutions sa mga pagkawala po ng mga indigenous language po and traditions.
So, there are some various solutions. Example na lang dito is the loss of indigenous language and traditions is nag-i-include dito yung to teaching them in schools, creating language and cultural programs, recording oral histories, and encouraging younger generations to learn and practice their heritage. Communities can also promote traditional festivals, arts, and rituals and use media and technology to preserve and share their culture.
Okay, thank you for that sharing, Attorney, for the solutions. And of course, for the last question po, that what are some practical steps naman po or steps communities can take to celebrate and preserve their cultural heritage in a changing world? Yes, Attorney?
So, in communities can celebrate and preserve their cultural heritage by organizing festivals, teaching traditional skills, and passing on languages and stories. They can also create cultural centers, record their history, and use technology like websites and social media to share their traditions. Encouraging young people to take pride in their heritage and involving them in cultural activities helps ensure the culture thrives in a changing world.
Okay. Thank you so much, Attorney. And sa mga shinare niyo po, yung mga information is very thoughtful po talaga, no? And of course, baka want nyo po ng mga, magsabi po ng mga advices for us para sa cultures po na tinatalakay po natin sa oras po na ito. Okay po, si Ma'am Melissa Padama.
Para naman po mapanatili natin ang ating kultura ay ito po yung mga sumusunod: pagtuturo at pagpapasa sa mga sumusunod na henerasyon, at pagpapatuloy ng tradisyonal na gawain, at pagsuporta sa lokal na sining at produkto. And the last one is pagkilala at pagpapahalaga sa wika.
Okay, so thank you very much, Ma'am Melissa Padama, for that very important advice for us to maintain our culture in the modern world. And how about you po, Attorney?
So, yung ma-advise ko lamang is embrace and explore your own cultural heritage while being open to learning about others. This fosters respect and understanding. Engage in cultural practices, learn your community's history, and share your traditions with others. Cultivating a strong sense of identity can enrich your life and help build connections across diverse cultures. Additionally, I just want to advise everyone the importance of performing fertility rituals to maintain our culture. So, to maintain our culture while performing fertility rituals in the modern world, adopt traditional practices to fit contemporary contexts without losing their essence. Involve younger generations by teaching them the significance of these rituals and encouraging their participation. Use modern communication tools to share knowledge and experiences and connect with others who value these traditions. Balancing respect for your heritage with openness to change can help keep these rituals vibrant and relevant.
Okay, so thank you very much po, Attorney Cathy May Pambid and Ma'am Melissa Padama for that wonderful and very thoughtful advice po for us. And maraming salamat po sa mga information din na nakalap po namin dahil po sa inyo. And of course, sa effort niyo po na nagpunta rito sa araw nito. And now, I just want you to share po or ibigay yung time sa inyo para sa gayon is ibigay yung mga last message niyo po para po sa lahat, lalong-lalo na po sa mga tagapakinig po natin.
Salamat din po sa inyo dahil na-invite niyo po kami dito sa programa niyo. Naway sa mga nakikinig o nanonood po ay may napulot po kayo na aral sa amin ni Attorney Cathy.
Okay po, so how about you naman po, Attorney Cathy May Pambid?
So, thank you for inviting us. So, nagkaroon kami ng panibagong opportunity na makapagbahagi ng kaalaman about sa culture at kung gaano nga ba ka-importante yung culture sa ating mga mamamayan. So, we hope na nagkaroon kayo ng bagong knowledge about culture.
Ayan, so maraming salamat po sa mga message po na sinabi niyo po. And ayun nga po, thank you rin po sa pagpunta, sa effort niyo po para po maka-attend po sa programang ito ngayong umaga. And ayun po, God bless you po. At naway, marami pa po kaming mas matutunan pa. Diba? At may apply po sana namin ng mga ito, lalong-lalo na yung mga tagapakinig natin na may apply nila ang mga ito at maalala nila kung gaano ka-importante ang culture natin. Ayan, so at naway ma-maintain natin yung mga culture na nakagisnan natin, especially sa mga rituals na nabanggit niyo po kanina, Ma'am Melissa Padama and Attorney Cathy May Pambid. So maraming salamat po at muli magandang umaga po sa inyo. Okay, so thank you very much for tuning into Jenny Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and found it helpful. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review on your profile podcast platform, and it really helps others find the show. You can also follow us for more updates, behind the scenes content, and discussion on our topics. If you have any questions, suggestions, or just want to say hi, feel free to reach out. Until next time, keep smiling and fresh. Hopefully, everybody or everyone learned a lot about our topic. And see you in the next episode. Bye-bye, guys!
Subscribe to my channel.